Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, Election Day is right around the corner. See how the county's registrar is handling a high number of absentee ballot requests.
4 arrests have been made in connection to the Charlottesville riots last year. Driving on I-81 may get easier, but at a cost. We will explain.
And Washington and Lee's football team is trying something new. See how the young defense is helping the Generals on the field. All that and more on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Good evening and welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Faith Isbell.
And I'm Jack Douglas. The count is up to 10 packages with suspected explosives delivered to high-profile politicians, including an ex-president. President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and now Robert De Niro and former Vice President Joe Biden were targeted. A law enforcement official says the devices appear to be rudimentary, but functional. Natasha Chen from CNN reports.
Authorities say a suspicious package intended for former Vice President Joe Biden has been intercepted at a post office in Delaware. It is the 9th of such packages found this week.
Clearly, there's a pattern. It does appear to be very consistent. Each of these packages coming from the exact same person or people, the exact same style, the exact same materials. We have every reason to believe there might be some more.
Earlier Thursday, police said they were called about one addressed to actor Robert De Niro. The package was found at De Niro's production office in Lower Manhattan. Sources say it's similar to the ones sent to prominent Democrats. On Monday, a package targeting billionaire investor George Soros was found in a mailbox. Then Tuesday, one intended for Hillary Clinton was discovered. And by Wednesday, more devices were intercepted. Luckily, none of the packages detonated.
We are fine, thanks to the men and women of the Secret Service who intercepted the package addressed to us.
A source familiar with the investigation says the packages were sent by first-class mail with the return address of Debbie Wasserman Schultz's office in Sunrise, Florida. President Donald Trump has condemned the attacks, calling for unity and civil discourse.
We want all sides to come together in peace and harmony. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. It'll happen.
While in Virginia Beach, Vice President Mike Pence spoke out about the bombs. In his own words, threats of political violence of any kind have no place in the United States of America. Members of a Southern California white supremacist group were arrested on Wednesday in connection with the deadly Charlottesville riots last year. Prosecutors say leaders of the group were arrested on charges of inciting violence in Charlottesville, and the charges also include actions in 3 California cities. Weeks before, other members of the group were indicted in Virginia. Leaders of the Rise Above movement, Robert Rundo, was arrested on Sunday. Robert Bowman and Tyler Lobb were arrested Wednesday morning. Aaron Eason still remains at large.
Rockbridge County is gearing up for Election Day on November 6th. Absentee ballot requests are up 35 to 40% in the county as compared to the last midterm elections in 2014. Marilyn Earhart, the voter registrar for the county, says she has never seen numbers this high for a midterm election in her 13 years overseeing local elections.
It's very busy. I would say we're up probably at this point 40% over what we would normally be for a midterm election. This time we do have the Senate race on there, so that would make a difference.
I sat down with Rockbridge Report reporter Maya Laura to find out why these numbers are so high and what voters should expect when they head to the polls.
So this year they've increased between 35 to 40% as compared to the last midterm elections in 2014. So not quite as high as 2016, but much higher in comparison to the last midterm election.
And why did absentee ballots increase so much?
So the registrars weren't really sure because they can't really give opinions of that nature, but they said in terms of observing people coming in that people seem really excited to vote this time. And the Lexington registrar specifically said that people seem really eager to make change. So there just seems to be part of the nationwide push towards getting out the vote this year.
And what have reactions been in the registrar's office to voter enthusiasm this midterm?
They said they've been really, really busy. So Ms. Earhart, who is the voter registrar for Rockbridge County, said that she's never seen activity this high in her 13 years working local elections. So they've been doing a lot. The Lexington registrar said that they had 57 people come in on October 15th, which was the last day to register in Virginia. So she typically has three or four a day, and she went up to 57 people. So they've been really, really busy, and there's only one registrar per locality, but they're excited and they hope people turn out to the polls.
Wow, that's wonderful. And so what do voters need to bring with them to the polls?
So in Virginia, anywhere you vote, you need to bring a photo ID. So there are plenty of options for that. You can bring a passport or a driver's license. If you're registered and you go to one of the universities in Virginia and you haven't switched over your driver's license, you can bring your university ID as long as that has a photo that identifies you. So you just go to the poll worker, you say your name, your address, present your photo ID, and you'll be handed a ballot.
Election Day is Tuesday, November 6th.
Migrants are fleeing their homes in Central America and walking to the United States-Mexico border in search of a better life. But President Trump says he's considering a military option beyond the National Guard to protect the border. Patrick Ottman from CNN reports.
Another dawn at the migrant caravan heading to the United States. Another night sleeping on concrete for thousands of people. Some get ready for the day. Children play a game as if they were still home. Others decide to sleep a little longer. Maria Antonia breastfeeds her 2-month-old daughter Estrella on the pavement where they spent the night. Maria Antonia says she's leaving Honduras so that Estrella can have a future. There isn't any work here, she says. We've nothing to live on. On the same block, Kevin asks people for coins. He's traveling alone to join an older brother in the U.S., hoping to send money back home. He says he is 14 but looks much younger. We aren't showing his face to keep him safe. I came here, he tells me, so I could work and eat and help my family. Over in the town plaza, Brian is figuring out how to get back to the U.S. He will walk as long as it takes to reunite with his 3-year-old daughter, an American citizen.
She's the one who actually needs me the most, so, and I don't want her to grow up without me, so.
They have over 1,000 miles to go to the U.S.-Mexico border, where they will not be welcome. The Trump administration is pressuring the Mexican government to deport more than 7,000 members of this migrant caravan back home because they say there could be terrorists or dangerous gang members in their midst. But literally everyone we have talked to here says the exact opposite. They're not gang members, they're their victims. Maria Antonia says Honduras' out-of-control gangs extort everyone, sometimes for just a few dollars. That's why we came, she tells me. They charge war taxes there. If you don't pay, they kill you. She says she hopes her baby daughter is too young to remember the hell they are fleeing from and the hell they are living now. Patrick Ottman, CNN, Huixtla, Mexico.
As of this morning, migrants still had 1,000 miles left until they would reach the U.S. border.
We have some rain on the way. Stick around to find out just how much and how long it'll stay.
Also coming up on the Rockbridge Report, police have arrested 4 protesters in connection with the deadly riots in Charlottesville last year.
And the women's rifle team at VMI graduated star seniors last season. See how the young team is overcoming challenges as it looks to rebuild. All this and more on the Rockbridge Report. Virginia transportation officials shared a proposal in which cars and commercial trucks may have to pay tolls along Interstate 81. Drivers have been complaining about safety and other issues on Interstate 81 for years. The money from a toll would be used to improve the road. The General Assembly is considering other funding options, including an increase in the retail sales tax or imposing a regional fuel tax. A public comment period is open until November 30th. Before we take a look at local weather, what's going on in the forecast, Donald?
Yeah, well, on a national scale, Storm Willa has been downgraded to a tropical depression. It made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane near Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Parts of Texas are preparing once again for heavy rain. The state is still recovering from previous flooding. Now let's take a look at our local weather. And we'll begin with a live look at the colonnade here at W&L. We can see it really was a nice day out there today. Had a mix of some sun, some clouds, but really was a nice day. And we have those cooler temperatures in the air. You can see some leaves starting to change color, and those cooler temperatures are reflected right here. High today of 56, a little bit of a drop from what we've seen the past few days, and it was a chilly morning. Hope you brought a coat with you today. Morning low was 37 degrees, going to be chilly again tonight. Luckily, not too much wind contributing to that, just 5 miles an hour coming out of the south. Not too much humidity either, just 55%. If we take a look at our region, we can see really not too much here right now, but as I shift this way, you see some clouds starting to come our way, and that's a sign of some things to come. I'll touch on that in just a second, but let's zoom into our closer region right here, and we can see that it's pretty consistent in our region right around us today. We had some temperatures right around the 50s, some upper 40s temperatures as well. Out towards Charlottesville is a little bit higher, 55 degrees, and we have some of those consistent temperatures. Our 5-day forecast looking forward, as I said, sign of some things to come. We have rain coming our way. Rain showers are going to start to roll in around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they're going to stick with us through at least the end of Saturday. Might see some showers on Sunday as well, but really it's going to clear up for the start of the next week. So some rain coming our way the next few days. Bring your umbrella with you to work, but be ready for the nice start to a week. Jack and Faith, back to you.
Thanks, Donald. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, the Washington and Lee Generals have a young defense. See how the team is putting this to its advantage. The Washington and Lee men's and women's swim teams are both undefeated so far this season. They have high goals for the rest of the season.
And later, the winning ticket of the Mega Millions jackpot was sold in South Carolina. Find out more about this record-breaking jackpot. The World Series is well underway with 2 games in. Jack, have you been watching?
Yes, Faith, it's been a great series. Gus, what's the update?
Well, it's an interesting series depending on whose fan you are. The Red Sox defeated the Dodgers again last night in Game 2 of the World Series. The Sox won last night's game 4-2 and won Tuesday's game 8-4. The teams are traveling from Boston to Los Angeles today for Games 3 and 4 and a possible Game 5. In Virginia, the Washington and Lee men's golf team placed 4th out of 16 teams at the O'Brien-Jensen Memorial Tournament on Tuesday. This concludes the team's fall season. They'll be back in the swing of things this February. The Washington and Lee men's football team beat Ferrum College on Saturday with a 31-yard field goal as time expired to win the game 38-35. Sophomore running back Josh Brees tallied a season-high 232 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns on 24 carries. The football team is now 5-1, thanks in part to a strong defense. Brent McCarthy looked into how the team's 3 first-year starting linebackers have strengthened the defense.
The Washington and Lee men's football team has 3 linebackers that are all starting for the first time in their college careers. Defensive coordinator Brendan O'Brien says the young linebackers didn't get much playing time because of the abundance of talent in the class of 2018. That meant that junior Will Corey and sophomores Sam Murphy and Fred Benham had to wait.
The senior class last year was such a huge influence on us defensively. Most of them were starters from almost day one when they came in as freshmen. And losing that experience we thought was going to be a big step back, but we knew we had some talented guys that, were as good athletically. They just kind of lacked a little experience because of the guys in front of them.
O'Brien says the team's 3 linebackers have stepped up this season.
They've had tough days, they've had great days, and they've put all that, in their memory bank to kind of understand what it takes to be a great student athlete here at W&L day in, day out.
Benham says the linebackers have strengthened the defense in individual ways.
I think we balance each other out really well in that aspect. We have everybody, we each have something that we can do really well.
Benham has 21 tackles this season. Murphy says Benham brings speed to the position.
Fred is a little bit skinnier, he's a little bit faster. He's better at being outside and covering the receivers and stuff like that.
Murphy has 34 tackles this season. Corey says Murphy's best asset is his strength.
Sam's probably the strongest guy on the team, so having him kind of in the box matched up with linemen that are much bigger than him helps him a lot.
Corey has 42 tackles so far this season, 6.5 sacks, and scored his first defensive touchdown this season. Benham says Corey sets the tone for the defense.
Will on the other side, he is probably the most aggressive player on our defense. He got a good amount of time last year, and I think that showed a lot this year. He's become a leader for our defense. and I think he really sets the tone for everybody else.
The Generals' defense is first in the ODAC in fewest points allowed and total yards given up. O'Brien wants to continue this momentum and be the top defensive unit in the conference.
The goal is just to get better every week.
The Generals play again Saturday, October 27th at Guilford. Corey, Murphy, and Benham are all expected to start at linebacker. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Bryn McCarthy.
The women's rifle team at the Virginia Military Institute graduated a lot of talent last spring. Reporter Ellie Cosgrove has a story on the team's challenges and promise.
Head coach Lieutenant Colonel Bill Byther said it's a rebuilding year for the women's rifle team at VMI. The team graduated 5 of its top female shooters last year, but several first years, also called RATs, walked on the team at the beginning of this season, and they show promise.
Fortunately, this rat line that just rolled in here in August, I was able to pick up 5 very good female rats that not a whole lot of experience in those 5 individuals, but they're really picking the game up and they're really picking up the sport.
Being a rat at VMI is challenging. The first-year students experience 7 months of mental and physical training until the cadets break out in February. Jessica Hankin is a rat this year. She tried out for the team during what is known as Matriculation Week. Hankin said rifle practice provides her with a way to ease the pressures of being a first-year student and a rat.
It's very hectic at times and it's a lot of pressure. And so being able to escape and just kind of be in your own little zone for a bit, you're just shooting a target. And the people here are really nice too, so it's nice to joke around and ease that stress.
Junior, or second-classman, Kelia Artema said the first match of the season against the Citadel back in September was not the team's best performance. It was a learning experience for the younger shooters.
Since our team is bottom heavy, we have mostly rats, mostly freshmen on the team. A lot of it is just getting used to how we're going to be shooting in a match versus how we shoot in a practice.
Scores improved when the team competed against the Naval Academy in late September. Older students are not allowed to fraternize with rats, so upper-class team members can't socialize with their first-year teammates outside of practices and competitions. This makes it difficult to be a team.
We're not allowed to take the rats out for ice cream on the weekends because VMI would frown upon that.
Byther said his team may be young, but that the goal is to make it to the national championship to compete against the likes of teams such as Ohio State University, West Virginia University, and Texas Christian University. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Ellie Cosgrove.
The VMI men and women's rifle team hosted the University of North Georgia this past weekend. North Georgia's co-ed team walked away with a victory over the VMI men's team, who came in second, and the VMI women's team, who came in third. The Washington and Lee men's and women's swimming teams both have 3-0 records. The two teams were ODAC champions last year and have big expectations for the upcoming season. Reporter James Laverty has the story.
The Washington and Lee women's swimming team has had a successful run since Coach Cammie Gardner took over 11 years ago. The women's team has won 11 straight ODAC championships. Gardner also became the men's coach in 2012. They have won 4 straight ODAC championships. Gardner credits her swimmers for the team's success.
I think our swim team is a student-led swim team. Certainly the coaching staff is there to provide the atmosphere of challenge and the opportunities for them to get better. But you have to have a group of people that are willing to take on those challenges.
Both teams are ranked #1 in the ODAC conference. The women are ranked 14th nationally, while the men are ranked 23rd. Junior Allie McQueen has twice been named to the All-ODAC team. She was also named an All-American, honorable mention in 4 events at the NCAA tournaments last March in Indianapolis.
I think that the team's goals are to win ODACs again. I think we can do that. I think we have a lot of talent on the team, and then hopefully send a bigger team to nationals. That would be fantastic, and to place higher than we have in the past.
Patrick Sullivan was ODAC Rookie of the Meet and first team All-ODAC as a freshman. He also competed in 6 events at nationals.
Absolutely. I mean, we got the banners to prove it. 4 years in a row now we're going on for guys' team. I know the girls are probably almost 20 or something like that. It's ridiculous.
McQueen says she expects the freshmen to play a big role.
We have a lot of good talent from the freshmen, so I think our relays will do a lot better.
Freshman Steve Warren posted a pair of wins in the 100 and 200 breaststroke last weekend. He set a pool record with a time of 58.78 seconds in the 100.
Team environment's great. I love the guys here on the team, and I feel like it was a bit of a bonus getting that pool record. But I want to stay humble about it, and hopefully moving forward could improve that time.
The swim season runs from early October to late March. Junior Emily Hedgeback says focus is the key to surviving a long season.
I think it starts with practice and just showing up and coming prepared and having accountability for each other.
The swimmers love the challenge of meeting high expectations.
Being so highly seated in the country, it's great motivation, especially for our younger swimmers.
Both the men's and the women's team will try to improve their record to 4-0 this Saturday when they host Randolph-Macon in their first dual meet of the year.
In high school sports, Perry McClure's football team fell to Rockbridge County High School in a 47-14 loss last night. Perry McClure's next football match against Eastern Montgomery was moved up to today because of the rain forecasted for Friday. The Rockbridge County Wildcats' next game is against Broadway High School on November 2nd. The Perry McClure girls and boys cross-country teams repeated as champions at the Pioneer District meet yesterday. The teams will compete in the Region 1C meet on Tuesday. The Rockbridge County High School girls and boys cross-country teams are advancing to the Region 3C meet. The girls team was the runner-up at the Valley District Championship meet on Tuesday, and the boys team finished third. The Rockbridge County girls volleyball team claimed the #1 seed in the Volleyball District Championship when they swept Harrisonburg High School on Tuesday. The Wildcats defeated Harrisonburg 25-13, 25-16, and then 25-11. The team is hosting Turner Ashby High School tonight for the district semifinal match. That's the final whistle for sports. Back to you, Faith and Jack.
Thanks, Gus. Imagine winning the biggest Mega Millions jackpot ever. One ticket could bring in over $1 billion. After the break, we will take you to South Carolina.
One winning ticket was sold in South Carolina for the Mega Millions. The jackpot was record-breaking on Tuesday night. CNN's Omar Jimenez has the story.
One single winning ticket for a record-breaking Mega Millions jackpot, and whenever that winner decides, they will have to come here to the state lottery offices to pick up their prize money. Now, that prize, $1.6 billion. Now, if they choose to go with the lump sum of cash, they won't quite walk away with $1 billion. But when you talk about winning this is among the best places to do it here in South Carolina, because in this state, it is one of the few places where you can remain anonymous.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is a record-breaking $1.6 billion.
This was the moment people across the country sat tensely, hoping their prayers were answered. But in the end, there was only one. That's right, one winning ticket sold in South Carolina for the largest lottery jackpot to ever be offered, $1.6 billion. The chances were basically zero. 1 in about 302 million. Your chances of getting struck by lightning are only 1 in 700,000. Leading up to this, people had many different plans about what they were going to do with the money.
I would enjoy a little bit of it with me and my family, but I would make other people's lives better by my gain.
I'd share the wealth. I'd give money to a lot of some schools and some churches and help people along.
But now it's ultimately up to the one winner to decide how to spend the money and whether they want to take it all in a lump sum or gradually over the course of about 30 years. And yes, the Mega Millions is over for now, but the madness isn't. Powerball is up next with a chance at $620 million. So looking ahead with this situation really right now, again, this is someone that does not have to reveal himself, but he or she also has up to 180 days to decide to even come forward. I can imagine that decision will be to come forward eventually. It's just the timing in that is going to be the difference. And another thing we are going to find out today, the exact location where this winning ticket was sold. And we were just told from state lottery officials moments ago that this is the first South Carolina winning ticket they have had since they began participating in Mega Millions. Reporting from Columbia, South Carolina, I'm Omar Jimenez.
And that's it for tonight's broadcast. Be sure to check us out at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu for more updates.
And happy Arbor Day here in Lexington. Thanks for watching and have a good night.